You know, have you ever just felt completely swamped? Like by the sheer amount of information hitting you every single day?
Oh, absolutely.
Notes, to-do list, emails, those brilliant ideas you have for like 2 seconds, and then they just vanish into the digital ether.
Yeah, gone forever. It's like our brains are constantly trying to drink from a fire hose. It's exhausting.
Exactly. A fire hose. So what if you could just, cut through all that noise just by speaking?
Well, that's the promise here, isn't it? It's an incredibly common challenge, that feeling of being overloaded. And honestly, it's a real drag on productivity, on creativity, even just remembering stuff.
It really is. So this idea, this voice-first AI second brain, what's the core concept? How's it different from just like dictating a note into my phone?
That's a great question. The really revolutionary part, I think, is that it's not just about dictation. It's about shifting the burden of organizing everything from your brain to the AI.
Shifting the burden. Okay.
Yeah, imagine your thoughts, those spontaneous ideas, even like half-formed questions. They get instantly categorized, cross-referenced, made searchable. And not just by keywords, but by their meaning.
Wow, by meaning.
It's like building this living, evolving extension of your own memory, and it's all powered by your voice.
Okay, that does sound like a pretty powerful shift in how we deal with our own knowledge. And that brings us to our mission for this deep dive right now.
Exactly.
We want to give you a really hands-on look at how one person, one individual, actually built and uses a custom system like this.
Yeah, we'll dig into what it can do, some surprising things maybe, how it fits into daily life, and the tech underneath it all.
The goal here is really to give you, the listener, a kind of shortcut to understanding this whole approach. Hopefully you'll have some aha moments about managing your own info flood without feeling quite so overwhelmed.
And just so you know where this is coming from, we've pulled excerpts from an article called The Voice First AI Second Brain. We're focusing specifically on a section called 4 Ways I Talk with My AI Second Brain to give you really concrete examples.
Perfect. Okay, let's unpack the system itself then. At its heart, this AI second brain. It's not just one app, is it?
No, not at all.
Eh.
Think of it as a powerful combination. It brings together voice capture, transcription, task management, integration with things like your CRM.
Your customer relationship management system, right, for client stuff.
Exactly. And really smart contextual linking between all those pieces. It's highly personalized, like a digital assistant built just for you.
And accessibility seems key here too. You mentioned it's not just on your phone.
Right. Crucially, it's designed for universal access. It's integrated across platforms, mobile, desktop, messaging apps like Telegram, even direct voice chat.
So it's wherever you are, basically.
That's the idea. Make it available whenever an idea strikes, wherever you happen to be. Low friction.
Okay, so how does this actually work day to day? Let's start with something most people carry, an iPhone. What's the first method?
So this user leans heavily on voice messaging via iPhone shortcuts. It's actually genius for immediate one-tab access.
One tap, so no hunting for an app.
Nope. Just tap and speak. Super quick.
That immediate access sounds amazing. Can you give us a real-world example? Like, what happens if I just ask, what was that meeting about with Kieran?
Okay, so here's where it gets clever. It's not just pulling up a file named Kieran meeting. The AI transcribes your question, sure, but then it uses these things called vector databases.
Vector databases. Sounds technical.
A little, yeah. But think of them as sophisticated memory banks that understand the meaning and the relationships between your data, not just keywords.
Oh, okay. Relationships.
So it contextually links your question, what about Kieran, to maybe meeting notes, contacts, CRM entries about Kieran, maybe even related emails or images, prior conversations too.
So if I ask, what did I talk about with Eddie last time? It does more than just find notes with Eddie's name.
Exactly. It can retrieve a full summary, understand the context, and even anticipate your next step. It might prompt you, like create a task.
Yeah.
Follow up with Karen tomorrow.
Whoa. Okay, so the real magic isn't just the transcription, it's the action it triggers based on understanding the context. That's way beyond simple dictation.
Absolutely. And if we zoom out a bit, technically, this happens because the system has what we call semantic memory. It lets it do these really context-aware searches. It links stuff you might never manually connect.
Semantic memory. Got it. It understands the meaning even if I phrase things differently each time.
Precisely, across all the fragmented bits of information.
That's great for quick notes on the go with the iPhone, but what if I'm, say, switching between my laptop and phone? Or I'm not at my main desk?
Right, good point. That's where the second method comes in handy. Voice typing via Telegram integration.
Telegram. Okay, lots of people use that. So the AI is embedded right in there.
Yep. directly into Telegram. That ensures it's accessible pretty much everywhere, cross-platform.
So how smooth is that process? Is it easy to use?
Incredibly low friction. That's the goal. The user just hits a keyboard shortcut, speaks their message or task, and boom, it gets transcribed and sent off to the second brain.
Instantly. Like if I say, remind me to send the research database to Can.
Instantly processed and logged.
Yeah.
Yeah. The key insight here, I think, is how this makes powerful productivity tools accessible outside of the usual app silos. Doesn't matter what device you're on.
It democratizes it a bit, breaking down those barriers. Okay, that covers mobile and cross-platform pretty well. But what about when I'm really heads down at my desk? Do I still need my phone?
Not at all. And this is where it gets, I think, particularly cool for desktop-heavy workflows. Method 3 is desktop voice input via Whisper plus Raycast.
Whisper and Raycast. Okay, tell me more. This avoids the phone entirely.
Completely. When you're at your computer, no phone needed.
So how's that set up? What are the tools doing?
Okay, so Raycast, which, if you're on macOS, is this amazing command tool for custom shortcuts and automations, is key here.
Ray, I've heard of Raycast.
They've set up a shortcut in Raycast that activates OpenAI's Whisper model, but running locally on their machine.
Locally, so it's private, not going to the cloud necessarily.
Well, the transcription can happen locally for privacy and speed, yeah. This script captures the voice input, transcribes it using Whisper, and then uses something called a webhook.
A webhook? Like a little digital messenger?
Pretty much, yeah. It sends the transcribed text instantly via that webhook straight to their second brain system for processing.
So I could just be typing away, hit a shortcut, say add apples to my shopping list, and it just happens without touching a UI.
Exactly that. True hands-free input while you're working.
That sounds incredibly efficient.
And what's really inspiring, I think, is that the user built this part themselves. They used an AI pair programming tool called Cursor.
AI helping write the code.
Yeah, basically. And a workflow they called Whisper Flow. It's even documented publicly in something called the Use Case Playbook. It just shows how individuals now have the power to build these really custom tools. You don't have to wait for big tech companies.
That is empowering. Tailoring the tech to exactly how you work. Okay, so we've had shortcuts, Telegram, desktop input. What's the fourth way? This sounds like the most sci-fi one. Real-time voice conversation with Jarvis Jr.
Huh. Yeah, it definitely has that feel, like Iron Man's JARVIS.
So is it actually like that? A full AI assistant you can just talk to?
Pretty much. Jarvis Jr. is described as a live AI agent. It's integrated for actual two-way voice conversations.
Two-way, so it talks back.
It does. It helps with task management, checking your calendar, scheduling things, general assistance. It's conversational. It understands spoken commands and responds verbally.
Okay, give us an example. How would that work?
Well, the source material gives this dialogue. The user says, check my calendar for this week.
Okay.
And Jarvis Jr. responds, you have the Jarvis Jr. voice mode release on December 24th at 2 p.m. and Christmas events on the 25th and 26th.
Wow, okay. That's pretty natural.
And it goes further. You can then confirm and schedule new things based just on you talking to it.
So you could say, okay, schedule a follow-up call with the team for Tuesday.
Exactly. It would confirm and do it. The analogy they use is perfect.
Yeah.
It's like a real-life JARVIS. But instead of running Tony Stark's house, it runs your knowledge workflow.
Imagine the mental space that could free up just talking to manage your schedule and tasks.
That's a big shift.
Okay, so stepping back a bit, we've mentioned a few technologies, Whisper, Raycast, vector databases. Can we quickly recap the engine behind this whole system? What makes it all tick?
Sure. Let's do a quick rundown of the core tech.
Yeah.
You've got Whisper, OpenAI's model for really accurate voice-to-text.
Right. Transcription.
Raycast for that slick macOS automation and scripting.
Desktop magic.
Webhooks and an AI agent framework.
Yeah.
Those are the connectors, basically. They link your voice input to the databases and the AI agents that figure out what to do.
The plumbing, kind of.
Yeah, the digital plumbing.
Yeah.
Then the vector database that's crucial for understanding context and relationships, keeping that semantic memory going across different inputs.
The smart memory part.
The Telegram bot for that easy on-the-go access.
Cross-platform.
And finally, custom scripting, often helped by tools like Cursor, which is how the user really tailors it, building those personalized extensions. That makes the system truly their own.
That's quite a stack, but it sounds like they work together pretty seamlessly from the user's perspective. Which brings us to the bigger picture, maybe the why this matters part, the paradigm shift. This really seems to elevate voice. It's not just an input method, it's potentially the primary interface for managing your knowledge. What's the biggest impact you see from that shift?
I think the most significant impact is how it just dissolves the friction. Think about all the little steps in note-taking, updating calendars, adding to-do items, clicking, typing, navigating menus.
Yeah, it adds up.
This system aims to completely remove that friction from many common tasks. Think about the mental energy we spend just on the process of capturing and organizing info. The system wants to basically eliminate that overhead.
So it's about reclaiming your attention, your focus. Instead of wrestling with the tools, you're just thinking out loud, and the system handles the rest.
Exactly, you're interacting more naturally.
And maybe the most powerful takeaway, like you mentioned with the custom scripting, is how it shows regular users, maybe technically inclined users, but still can build these deeply personal AI tools now. You don't have to wait for Apple or Google to build the perfect thing.
That's a huge point. It marks a shift, I think, from being just passive consumers of tech to being active creators, shaping our own digital environments.
Yeah.
It's like a blueprint for escaping the one-size-fits-all software trap.
Tailoring technology to fit your brain, your workflow, not the other way around.
Precisely.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. Bringing it all together from this deep dive, what are the core takeaways?
Well, first, this AI second brain. It's
Yeah.
this highly customized assistant, right? It
Yeah.
weaves together transcription, scheduling, task management, even CRM stuff, all driven by natural voice commands.
And it leverages tools that are actually quite accessible. Whisper, Raycast, Telegram, AI coding assistants like Cursor, showing that building something like this is within reach. It makes the interaction really seamless.
Yeah, these aren't some unobtainable future technologies. They're here now. And those 4 methods we talked about.
Right, the iPhone shortcut for quick captures,
The Telegram integration for when you're moving between devices.
desktop input with Whisper and Raycast for focused work.
And that real-time conversational Jarvis Jr. for interactive help.
They offer this incredible versatility, don't they? Different ways to interact depending on what you're doing, where you are.
Exactly. And the end result, the goal, is minimizing that digital clutter, getting rid of manual logging, and really boosting your ability to make decisions in the moment because your knowledge is right there, instantly accessible and actionable.
It's like making your memory searchable and infinitely expandable.
That's a good way to put it.
So as you're listening, maybe think about how this could change your perspective on interacting with technology and information day to day.
Yeah, what possibilities really open up when voice, arguably our most natural way to communicate, becomes the main way we manage the complexity of our digital lives.
How might that redefine productivity for you? Or creativity? Maybe even how we learn things. It's a provocative thought.
Definitely something to mull over. And for anyone whose interest is really piqued by this, who wants to maybe explore building something similar, the source material did mention a few resources.
Well, right, the playbook.
Yeah, the use case playbook with details on installing Whisper and setting up the automation stack. There are also community scripts on Raycast you can adapt.
And that demo clip.
And the Jarvis Jr. demo clip to actually see the conversational AI part in action. So there's a whole community kind of building out these ideas if you want to dive deeper.